Tears of the Kingdom has been out for almost a year now, and whether you're just jumping back into the game or you never really left, I want to help make your next playthrough more exciting by providing you with some fun RPG or D&D style classes that you can use as inspiration. And then I'll take the classes through the Demon King's army and the boss rush to show you how they play and how they perform. Today we're talking about the Rogue class. We ended up making a rogue that focuses on versatility, mobility, and stealth, rather than fully steering into stealth since we can do that with some kind of ninja class in the future. The rogue wears the Hylian hood, the Yiga armor dyed black, and the Hylian trousers dyed gray, all at level 2 for a total of 21 armor. And if you'd like to make the main game just a little bit easier, you can also carry around all the monster masks for some extra stealth, but no Majora's Mask, it's too OP. He also has 13 hearts and 3 wheels of stamina, making him a lot more mobile but at the cost of not being able to take many hits. For combat, the rogue has a lot of options with one-handed swords, boomerangs, single-shot bows, and puff shrooms. For a potential endgame build, we outfitted him with Gerudo scimitars with a diamond fuse for some high damage but fragile melee knives, some boomerangs with black Lizalfos horns fused to them to act as throwing knives with some crowd-clearing utility, 8-fold blades that can be used in tandem with puff shrooms for some powerful sneak attacks mid-combat, and finally a soldier's bow with nothing fused to the arrows in case of emergency. Since the rogue is pretty squishy, he also has access to level 1 stealth elixirs that combined with the Yiga armor give him level 2 stealth up, and some level 3 speed up elixirs for extra mobility. By the way, if you want to help me decide how to build these classes, you should consider coming to one of my YouTube streams. All of these classes are built on stream with the help of my viewers. Now that we've gone over the build, let's see how the rogue performs against the Demon King's army and the boss rush. The rogue was a surprisingly safe class for the boss rush, utilizing throwing knives and puff shrooms to keep the enemy from getting close. It did take a little longer to defeat the army than it did for some of the other classes, but it was safe and the versatility made it fun, so I'd say he excels against crowds. Like always, the rogue doesn't really bring anything special to the Colgera fight aside from having access to bows, which just allows you to take down Colgera a little bit faster. Marbled Goma was also pretty standard, mostly relying on the diamond knives for some straightforward damage, but the rogue did have a slight advantage here due to the speed up elixirs making it easier for him to outrun Goma's attacks. The rogue did however excel against Muktarok with the throwing knives and speed up, making it easy to close in on him and deal a lot of damage before he could re-muck. But now things get a little harder. The rogue doesn't have any elemental damage at his disposal, so the only way to weaken Queen Gibdo was by splashing some of the water from his canteen on her. Phase 2 was especially hard, having to throw the canteen from right underneath the queen for a very dangerous takedown. But if you decide you want to make it easier on yourself, you can just tie the canteen to an arrow and shoot that at her. The rogue performed okay against the seized construct, with one-handed spin attacks being the best way to launch him into the walls. Luckily, the spins are fast enough to be pretty safe, but it is by no means a fast battle. Next up we have Phantom Ganon, and I'd say the rogue actually excelled here. The speed up elixirs make it easy to dodge the flurry of phantom attacks, while the throwing knives allow you to deal decent damage to multiple phantoms from a safe distance. And finally we have Ganondorf. With the rogue's versatile kit, this was a pretty standard fight. The speed up elixirs make it a little easier to dodge some of Ganon's attacks, but for the most part this was a typical flurry rush reliant fight. With all of that considered, let's take a look at the boss rush viability tier list. I would say the rogue fits well in the A tier. For the most part, he has average to above average performance with a few notable flaws, but the safety and versatility of his kit makes the game a bit easier for him. Remember that this isn't a multiplayer game, so there's no need for perfectly balanced classes. Think of the viability tier list as more of a difficulty indicator, letting you know that while the rogue is a strong class, it's a bit easier to take through the boss rush than some of the other classes, so that lack of challenge may not be as fun for you. If you decide to give any of these classes a try, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you don't like the way I've built these classes, or you just want to be part of the decision-making process, then remember to check out my YouTube streams so you can help me build these classes like these lovely people did for the rogue.